the whole thing was to raise awareness. Larry Hoover, get him out of jail. Thumbs up. Love it, guys. The tickets, proceeds, charities, justice reform and all the good stuff. But the merch, I don't know if you guys can hear that. That was me tapping my pockets because that's what the Drake and Kanye West and whoever was responsible for the merch, that's what they were doing that night. And probably even still now, tapping their pockets because it got quite obese from the merch. I know you are always well prepared. Can you please itemize the merch list and the price tags associated?
I don't have it in front of me, but I do remember some of the prices off the top of my head. There were the hats were about $60. They had hoodies that were about $200. They had a $350 sweater.
Yeah, you're right.
And pretty much all of them were about that same blue color. If anybody's seen any images of Drake from the concert, he was wearing the hoodie. It pretty much, well, his said "Free to Man Them." The actual one that they were selling said "Free Larry Hoover." Right. So they were selling the same things, and apparently they made a good chunk of money from the merch, like a good decent amount, like about I heard about $7 million, which is an insane amount of money off of some merch from some concert. That's rivaling Kanye's triplex of listening parties.
Do we know what they made from ticket sales?
I have no idea. All I know is that the tickets were about $200 to about $1,000 in price. But then they dropped them. They dropped them a little bit to where as it got closer to the show.
This is irresponsible of us. If we had to guess, did the ticket sales dwarf or match the merch sales?
There's not a chance.
Not a chance of
the ticket sales trumping. Think about it like this. If anybody who knows a promoter or knows anything about clubs, if you are to book a venue, there's a lot of times where the venue will say, you know what, you can take all of the money from the ticket sales and I'm going to keep all of the money from the bar. There's a reason they keep all the money from the bar, because you're paying your little $20 to get into the club, and then you're spending about $200 on a bottle, $300 on a bottle at the bar. This is the same thing when you go to a concert venue. When I go to a sporting event, I'm spending such and such amount on my ticket, and then I'm spending a bunch more money on the merchandise store and the food and the drinks. So the merch is always more money.
Okay, so they made more money from the merch. So and that would make sense. I think that's a lot of the reason why people are talking about this. Great. The concert created a lot of awareness, which is awesome. They were able to generate some revenue for people who are in similar situations, like Larry Hoover. But this always boggles my mind. I mean, if you're just rich, like you don't need it, you're just rich, and you're already doing a type of charity event, why do you need to make money at all?
It's so funny. I'm so funny. This still baffles your mind, because the last time that we spoke about this, I told you it's all about the money. That's all it's ever about when you do things like this. Apparently, this concert cost $10 million to put on, between the production and the lighting and the renting of the venue and blah, 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 blah. $10 million. This is not a charity event. I'm sorry. There's no charity events that are costing $10 million unless those charity events are raising hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't put on a $10 million charity event to break even. It doesn't make any sense. What was the thought process with Kanye and the production team? And I have to assume that this is mainly Kanye and his production team putting this together. What was the thought process when you decided to make this cost so much and then forcing yourself to have to charge so much? And then it comes out that the money that you're making from the merch and all of this stuff isn't even going to these causes.
You know what's interesting? And I love it that you put it that way because it reminds me of an episode of The Office when they did a fun run and they had $500 that they wanted to donate to a charity, but they wanted to make a spectacle of it. So to make the spectacle, they could have just took the 500, wrote a check, donation.
Right.
To make the spectacle, Michael Scott took 200 of the 500 and purchased a big fake check and then hired a stripper. Just so now they only have 300. So to your point, they could have probably got away with this super cheap, made a lot more money from the ticket sales, just keep the overhead low. Therefore, you would have had more money to donate.
You gotta answer me. You gotta riddle me this, Batman. What company would not, or what venue, what stadium would not be willing to partner with you guys to put on this show? What dumbass would you be able to go to and say, listen, Kanye and Drake want to put on a concert and they want to put on a show and they don't want to pay full price for the venue. Are you willing to partner with us? And we'll split the profits. We'll give you a little bit of the profit margin there. Who's gonna say no to that? Even if it's 2%. Come on, man. This is possibly one of the biggest concerts that we're gonna have all year, regardless of how anybody wants to put it. It's Kanye and Drake at the end of the day. And the fact that they had to spend this much money to put on a show is baffling to me. Is baffling with all of the businesses looking to make money off of hip hop today. Yeah. So that means that they didn't. That says to me that they just didn't look. They didn't seek it out.
Listen, in the example I gave you with The Office, Kanye West is 100% Michael Scott in this situation. 100%. 100%. Viewing public, what are your thoughts here? I mean, I find myself saying this a lot because a lot of the content that we put out there, so a lot of the stuff we cover, even though we talk about it and we have functioning brains, like we could put two and two together, I still walk away with a lot of it not making any sense to me. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff that these people do, and by the way, I've never put on a festival, a 10th. I'm lucky to get 200 people in a spot. Just lucky. Luck. So I don't know. But I still feel like I could have probably organized this where I could have walked away where these charities, their pockets, were a lot more fatter than mine. I feel like I could have got away with this super cheap. To your point, I'm Drake. I'm Kanye. Let's make it happen.
Okay, so let me put it to you like this. So we're in Canada, more specifically, we're in Ontario, and one of the more popular music stations here is Much Music. They have their own award show, Much Music, MMVAs. I don't know what it's called. Is that what it is? Much Music Video Awards.
Video Awards.
MMVAs. Oh, I got it. Okay, MMVAs. Okay, good. Yeah. So they have their. What do you think costs more? The MMVAs or the Kanye and Drake concert?
I'm going to have to say the Kanye and Drake concert.
How ridiculous does that sound? Just think about that. Think about how many people are at an award show.
Also, MMVAs, because they're not idiots, they host it when the weather's nice and warm, and they do it outside.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's a pandemic. Could have did it outside.
Yeah.
Options.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Free.
I'm assuming that MMVAs pay for all these celebrities' tickets and all that stuff that they fly into. So, just think about that.
Being public, why don't you think about it? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
No, you think about it.
You think about it.
I don't know why I said that.